And you mentioned that you don't think that the impact he's had on the league recently, especially, has been positive.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. So there was a Fox Sports radio show that aired yesterday, and it looks like they were filling in for The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kevin Washington. The hosts included Rob Guerra, who's a Lakers fan, along with Muncy Bolaños, and they ended up having a pretty interesting conversation about the NBA and LeBron James. The main topic was Rob Guerra questioning why the NBA continues to heavily promote LeBron after the latest schedule release. The argument they were making was pretty simple. Why keep putting so much attention on LeBron when the league has an entire new generation of teams and stars that could be pushed just as heavily? They brought up teams like the Knicks and Spurs, along with players such as Victor Wembanyama and Jalen Brunson. These are players who can potentially attract new viewers and bring fresh attention to the league. From their perspective, LeBron has already been around for years, and fans already know exactly what he brings. The same audience that has followed him throughout his career is going to continue watching. So the question they were asking was, why doesn't the NBA start shifting more of its promotional focus toward the next generation? Why keep leaning so heavily on something audiences have already seen for years when there are younger stars who could help introduce the league to new fans? But then the conversation took a much more controversial turn. Muncy Bolaños and Rob Guerra started discussing the idea that LeBron actually changed the culture of the NBA in a negative way. They argued that he helped make it acceptable for players to take competition less seriously, particularly during the All-Star game. And then they brought Kobe Bryant into the conversation, claiming that Kobe embarrassed LeBron during an All-Star game, and suggesting that moment played a role in changing the way players approach those games. I'm not even going to give away the whole argument before you hear it for yourself, because once you hear exactly what they said on Fox Sports Radio, you're going to understand why this conversation got so heated. So grab your popcorn, because this one is definitely worth hearing. Check out the clip.
And you mentioned that you don't think that the impact he's had on the league recently, especially, has been positive. I will say for our purposes, like sports media, he's been a godsend.
Oh, of course.
Because he's a lightning rod. People love to hate him one way or the other.
Right.
So it's great. If we can do a LeBron James topic and it makes sense, we're probably going to do it. On FS1, on Fox Sports Radio, whatever your outlet is. But if I'm just talking in the business of basketball and the NBA, I could argue pretty easily everything about the LeBron James era of the NBA, his entire legacy, outside of him individually and his own success, has been negative. Okay, here's why. Number one, and this is in no order, player empowerment. There is not a single fan who likes player empowerment, because what happens is you ultimately have situations like these Sixers where you have all the stars trying to join up on one team. Kevin Durant jumping to a 73-win Warriors team, right? James Harden putting on a fat suit for 6 weeks so he can get himself traded somewhere else, right? Like, it flies in the face of competition. Everything that we love about sports is your best, my best. We're going to go ahead and see what happens. Now it's your best and his best. We're all going to come together, and then we can make a better team, and then we're just going to run roughshod over everybody else. So that's number one. Number two, he made it seem like uncool to try at the All-Star game. Like, before LeBron James became the face of the league, when it was still, Kobe, and then before that Shaq and Jordan and Magic, like going backwards, they would try hard for maybe 50% of the game. Like maybe right in the beginning and definitely right at the end. Once LeBron became the unquestioned face of the league, everybody's like, well, I don't want to embarrass myself. The last thing I want is for Tracy McGrady to throw off the backboard and dunk on me. Like, I don't want that to happen. So
because LeBron was embarrassed by Kobe.
Exactly.
So that's what led to, that was the beginning.
So I would rather not even try than risk getting embarrassed. And here's another one. This is a smaller one, but back in the day, in the early 2000s, even in the late 90s, flopping was something that was reserved for European players. Vlade Divac, Manu Ginobili, to a very, very lesser extent, like Tony Kukoc. Like, they were seen as, they weren't as athletic, they weren't as big and strong and fast as the American players. So that was their way of gaming the system. Once LeBron James made it cool for an American star not just an American star, the best player in the league to be like, all right, I will fling my head back and sell this call. I will take a dive. I'll act like I hit in the eye and then cover my eye and look for the camera real quick. Like you saw that video.
It's so good.
Like, then it became, all right, well, Chris Paul's going to do it. James Harden's going to do it. And now everybody does it. And now it's part of the game. Now it's like soccer in the NBA. So if I'm the NBA at large, Adam Silver and the schedule makers and all these guys, I'm like, why am I, first and foremost, kowtowing to a guy who hasn't really been that impactful recently, relatively to the big picture? Like, he's not winning championships anymore. He's not at the top of the standings anymore like he used to be back in the day. Number one. And number two, why do I continue to bend over backwards to a man whose long-term legacy is just as negative as it is positive in the eyes of basketball fans?
In everything you just said, and I don't know if this was your message to get across, because LeBron changed the competitive nature of the NBA from top to bottom. And that is what sucks the most about this. The player empowerment, it's like there's a few games throughout the regular season that maybe the players will compete at their highest, but that's why the NBA implemented the in-season tournament to try and get some competitive games, because everybody was just waiting for the end of the season to get on a run and get into the postseason. And once they got into the postseason and their seat is locked, they don't even care anymore.
Right.
Like, that all changed with LeBron James. It really did.
And this wasn't just one person saying it. Kevin Garnett has made a similar point recently, and a lot of people online clearly agreed with the criticism. Some viewers were praising Rob G for being willing to say something they felt the mainstream sports media usually avoids, while others argued that the NBA needs to do a better job promoting its younger stars instead of continuing to lean so heavily on LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. There were also plenty of people pointing out the irony of constantly talking about LeBron while claiming to dislike him. But the bigger takeaway from the reactions was that some fans viewed this as an unusually blunt conversation, especially because it happened on Fox Sports Radio. The argument is that you rarely hear this kind of completely unfiltered criticism on major sports networks because personalities who go too far could potentially face consequences for their jobs. And according to this commentary, that could change once LeBron eventually retires. The idea is that more media personalities may feel comfortable being completely open about their opinions once he's no longer an active player and one of the biggest names in the entire sports media ecosystem. From there, the criticism went directly into LeBron's career decisions. The argument being made was that whenever the situation became difficult, LeBron found another path instead of staying and fighting through it. The examples brought up were his move from Cleveland to Miami, then back to Cleveland, and eventually to Los Angeles, with the criticism framing each move as another example of avoiding the grind. The discussion then shifted into the bigger GOAT debate. The argument was that LeBron has played alongside an enormous number of elite players throughout his career, so blaming the quality of competition for certain losses doesn't automatically settle the debate. If the era was strong enough to include so much elite talent, then the question becomes why LeBron didn't win even more championships if he's considered the greatest player ever. And that comparison eventually brought Michael Jordan and Stephen Curry into the conversation. The argument was that Jordan also competed against elite players, and that LeBron's resume has to be judged within the context of how much high-level talent he played with and against. Then there's Stephen Curry, who becomes another important part of the argument, because he has won multiple championships during the same general era and has done so without Kevin Durant. So the point being made is that if LeBron is unquestionably the GOAT, critics want to know why another superstar from his own era was able to reach the same championship total. That's where this particular argument leaves the debate, not with a simple answer, but with a bigger question about how LeBron's career, competition, team changes, and championship record should actually be evaluated. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.